Ebusia for a higher Alpha 1GH, and I send to the system concerns because I do all the latest update and the Abramo. Make way be at and I send a bias on because I kept no was winding. And who near my old door air cost to be a celebrating feeling chill near Candy one chairman. I get the issue about who sit at the right side, that is the majority side in Parliament, and who sit at the left side of the speaker, that is the minority side in Parliament. You know, only issue panas and only idea na Ghana for winning the air ni mukwain. Na speaker Bagbin edianu yaba. Wache obia was on the left side of the speaker, that is the minority side. Any obia was on the right side of the speaker, that is the majority side. NDC and a secretary the majority side and as MPP and a secretary the minority side. Speaker at the one semi the abatches and yasanketwa. Speaker Akikan same biaches a very important and crucial. Na or their futu ama especially and Attorney General. Or say Attorney General Elko Supreme Court akoke kan boso asemo Supreme Court or na like ayana santa otin demand bo wa ayana say on tiase say o akra ketiketi we o no tamana wo ye o service no leader no leader nene o mom no akotena Supreme Court ekeka wa adwen kire no like o person just onye ne size e ba adisuamu mpa onye ne size or just you need to learn, you need to be a learner. Just okay can I dream pan ya just enya sanketo. Yango tie all this really and as in sema speaker and there to I miss a Supreme Court ruling just all case on Wednesday execution and yango tie sema speaker Bagbin able to just speak.
Mr. Speaker, we will respectfully take a fifth one. We'll take a fifth one because of the brevity of the question so that we can get as many questions.
Thank you very much. My name is John Amensa and I report for address MP as a minority leader and or a majority leader. You are told that please, that's not my title, or they'll just cut the line. Please, can you settle this debate for us? Who is the majority leader today in Parliament?
The Right Honourable Speaker.
These are very interesting questions. The first one is easy. It's a fresh instructions to the clerk to Parliament to resubmit the bill to the President. I'll leave it at that. The second one, please, it's not part of the duties of a speaker to decide where an MP should sit in Parliament. It's not my duty. That determination in Ghana's situation, in various parliaments, these things we are talking about, majority side, minority side, don't exist any longer. That's why in my ruling I use the term old school. The British model, government, opposition, benches, and a carpet in between them. And so when you are shifting your political lineage, you have to cross that carpet to the other side. And that is why you have the term carpet crossing. Our parliament is not arranged in the form of government and opposition. And Ghana don't like the term opposition. So we decided to adopt the terms from the United States of America, majority and minority. So you can even sit anywhere. But the numbers determine who is majority and who is minority. But in our parliament, the practice is for those who constitute majority to sit at the right side of the speaker, and those who constitute minority to sit at the left side of the speaker. That is because after independence in 1957, we adopted the Westminster system, which is practiced in the United Kingdom. But we changed that, even to the extent that the arrangement of the floor of the House is in a horseshoe. So it's not always the case that the people to the left side are all members of minority. That's not the case now. And there's good reason behind this. As in the textbooks. The determination, therefore, in our situation, as to who constitute majority or minority, is a question of numbers. As to where they sit, is the determination first of the political parties who influence who should lead the caucus or party wing in parliament. They, after various consultations, decide that these 5 people should occupy these positions in leadership. And so they are given the chairs in front. Then in consultation with them, the 5 leaders, they determine who should sit behind them. Because as a leader, you need somebody that you have trust, confidence in, who has the capacity, so that when you are in some difficulty or you have a challenge, you can just lean over and listen to his or her whisper. So you have a say as to who sits behind you. The speaker is not involved in this. The whips, particularly the chief whips, lead in trying to identify who should sit behind. And it also has to do with years of experience in the House, and also the issue of gender and other professional backgrounds, until you get to those who are at the back. Even though we don't sit on benches, we still use the term backbenchers. The speaker is not involved in this. After they have agreed on it, they then get in touch with the parliamentary service through the clerk, who will get his officer at the table, together with the marshal, and they will get the names, print them, and place them on the various tables as decided by the various caucuses. The speaker don't come in this. Please. How can you call speaker to come and decide where people should sit? It's not part of my duties. Number 3. I will plead with you. Go and look at that letter. He's the Attorney General. He did his service in Parliament here. I was leader then, when he was doing his service here. Yes. So I know him very well before he became Attorney General. Read that letter carefully. And that's one of the things they are missing. There's vast difference between Parliament as an institution and the office of the Speaker. The Speaker is a party before the Supreme Court, not Parliament. So as Speaker, when the Attorney General is taking a different position from my position, I should still contract him as my counsel. I will leave it at that. Once I'll meet the Attorney General and I'll tell him my peace of mind on some legal issues and pronouncements he made at the Supreme Court. You know, attorney generals must be respected as learned. But it should not be part of what Obama referred to. Not me. It will not work. Number 4. Half of the terms they use against me is part of the hazards of the work. We're doing everything as leaders, not to bring up our youth to believe that indecent, intemperate, insulting and offensive language is the way to go. But people interpret freedom of speech to mean that freedom of speech without responsibility. You can just use any words. But you know how offensive it is to you yourself or your parents.
Abusiafo we ni sema speaker Bagbin Edatuja our shenko for Christ some got on the minority side and now shenko for Christ some got on the majority side just in yana yeah expect no and just what the no and who answer but to watch say enya some get in yana 80s asem no owie no ye be kwa kotie nsem bi a speaker sa kan bi a say the judiciary and the executives no I was so omoye niema yi because omo actions omo take it right as you speak no actions are undermine our democracy and speaker kasa o say ene ne ye pa say the democracy bre pass nya sa democracy na ya prayer between sabri na ye nyinyine mo nyinyine dru say na inchirima da so ho na mo selfish interest nti na mo ye democracy ni say wa kasa papa yenkunenko tinsema abamba bin de editu dwa de fa actions are the executive and judiciary ni de take
Some come dressed in suits. I hope in my lifetime, Ghana shall have a parliament and a speaker who are truly independent from Jubilee or Flagstaff House or any headquarters in the conduct of parliamentary business. Let me state unequivocally, Parliament owes its duty to the people who established and elected its members to serve and represent them. The wheels of Parliament will continue to turn, and no person will be allowed to disrupt parliamentary proceedings or to undermine the democratic mandate of Parliament. When I ruled in January 2021 on the issue of which side constitutes majority and minority in Parliament, the ruling was in favor of the majority group then. It was not an act of lawlessness as to cause constitutional crisis. When I ruled in the matter of the vacation of seats by Honorable Kennedy Ajapong, Honorable Henry Korti, and Honorable Sarah Adjoa Safo, the question of the interpretation of the Constitution was not raised. When my predecessor declared the former seat vacant in 2020, applying the same provisions of Article 97, the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to interpret and enforce provisions of the Constitution was not invoked. Peace reigned in these instances, and nobody cried and ran to the Supreme Court under the guise of constitutional interpretation. If I may ask, is it a legal matter for the Supreme Court to decide as to which side of the House constitutes the majority or minority? It is for good reason that justice is said to be blind, and further, that justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done in all cases, not in only those cases to which some people appear to be sentimentally attached. Fellow Ghanaians, I respectfully call on the Supreme Court to apply the same swiftness with which the motion ex parte in the Eastern matter was granted to the case involving the President's refusal to receive the Human Rights and Family Values Bill passed by Parliament, which has been pending before the same court for almost a year without being heard. Ladies and gentlemen, consistency is not just an ideal, but the foundation of life. The court cannot enjoin 4 members of Parliament from serving their constituents for 12 weeks, but was very eager to deny the constituents of Asenov their representation because of the issue of allegiance. The court cannot deny the constituents of Sal the sanctity of representation for years. The court cannot even see that the Constitution itself permits a denial of representation within 3 months to the holding of a general election. It's in the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, the Parliament of Ghana shall commence sitting as by law prescribed from tomorrow, November 7th, 2024. I have earlier instructed the clerk to Parliament to transmit the LGBTQ+ bill to the President for assent. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I'm aware of the business the government wants to transact through Parliament. And I'm willing to cooperate and collaborate with government. Despite all that I have said, Ghana first. And all Ghanaians should bear the president, Parliament, the judiciary, and all our leaders in prayer for the betterment of our people and country. With this, I thank you all for your attention. Assalamu alaikum.
Ebusiafo nyinaa nsema wodra bamba bia de editu judges and both yi ba na de wa ba abeka wisdom wa kasa chiri to me chese one popo no fear no panic and wa chese this is the time of see a shen the panim a kind of creature no man shushi se nipa ne ade na nya yenka ninja o yes na bia na ososo no opese wo chese miribra ba osu baby ti usho bia na on pakro no so opposition no aye do aba be how and say in government no aba be how debi we are building a nation, not a political party. Even though Kesi no court today now so you ready speaker akasa nena wa kasa pa kasa just wama Akroma perform wama pressure tension in aba form you said all kind of cause ni speech will deliver all the tensions that air cost organ and in apart from because said the Supreme Court I raise the tension high as I did who be able to you who be that as a Bagbin the ruling be a baby say Ghana beto into be the TV no Parliament and yam session or man many united apart from age that way na a year mammy to no kind say you are in constitutional crisis and assassin of course on peso better assassin like on David men can beam or 7 can beam and yes sir tension on ne and that Supreme Court so on no or use to hang Parliament check it the parliamentarians are all governing on a pincy that say Parliament in more pepe 137 or and I won the position I'll beat my son. Although tension one so that tension in all Parliament or that or try say or Becky come a man for down kakranka can in the move for that. No sabe two tension at to munching. Na baby a criminal, na my coquading ruling by no, I don't know Supreme Court and things. Okay, can't see when you know LGBTQ. Moon can want some case the whole a year as sin of much as a case I would be brain moon yesham Washington mutekia or sinning is in the public domain. Intino or the Martians are take previous and what they judge more Tinamana and Mabe Cancer and Simwina. I mean, who say as a more for Parliament in the English, so you can say, but Parliament is part of the arms of government. It was say, or say, I was say, respect or must say, you respect the judiciary, any the executive, no, I was say, respect your own parties, any answer, corner, or the executive need judiciary and puno. Mubenya that position in Yana. This is more pass it through Parliament. So when you question to turn, I said, damn. With that Parliament, it be a position of crying the ember. You see me bring our kind of bit much under the comment section. So, share my own house in Sanke behind the PC Akroma.